All right, welcome back, everybody. This is Eric and Barry from Moss Pawn and Gun, and we have yet another Gun Gripe episode for you. Sorry we're a little late this week. We've had a lot of pokers in the fire. As you guys can imagine, ton of gun sales, whole lot of guns going out the door, of course, Evil Black stuff. In a video coming up soon, you'll see our inventory and how it's changed with all of this potential for the gun ban and everything that's out there. And that's what today's video is going to be about. It's going to be about the potential for this 2013 gun ban legislation, and we want to talk a little bit about Feinstein's
proposal.
Stuff here. So what do you think?
Well, I was driving to work 3 weeks ago before all this started, and it dawned on me, why a pro-gunner, if you think like a pro-gunner, you say, well, why would they pass a bill that's proven not to prevent crime? Okay? But if you think like an anti-gunner, they say, well, the reason it didn't work, it wasn't tough enough. So we're going to beef it up now, and we know how to do it this time. So Diane Feinstein has come in here with her little proposal.
All right, this is directly off of her website. I'm just going to read you the hot points in this thing. And there, she goes on to mention press releases, television appearances that she's made in regards to it. And here's a basic summary. This is, if Senator Diane Feinstein had her way, this is the legislation that she would see passed at the federal level. Now, this is what she's proposing at the federal level. Now, Illinois has picked up pretty much this exact deal. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Okay.
All right, summary of the 2013 legislation. It bans the sale, transfer, importation, or manufacturing of 120 specifically named firearms, certain other semi-automatic rifles, handguns, shotguns that can accept a detachable magazine that have one or more military characteristics, and semi-automatic rifles and handguns with a fixed magazine that can accept more than 10 rounds. Essentially, about 80% of the gun market.
Right, but what Eric has read so far is just a carbon copy of the 1994 crime bill.
Right. All right, it says strengthens the 1994 assault weapons ban and various state bans by the following. Moving from a 2-characteristic test to a 1-characteristic test. Eliminating the easy-to-remove bayonet mounts and flash suppressors from the characteristics test. And banning firearms with thumbhole stocks and bullet buttons to address attempts to work around prior bans. So basically what they're saying is, again, it's cosmetics. They're going after the cosmetic function, the way the gun looks.
So far, they're going after the cosmetics.
Well, right. I mean, they're talking about the model of the gun by name and everything like that, but they're also, again, they're back to like aesthetics, cosmetics, function. But I mean, the thing is, we've already proven in various videos before that, banning the cosmetic features of the gun, I mean, that's,
Well, what they're proposing, you can't even have a thumbhole stock like was legal under the Clinton bill. You can't have that. So if you've got an AK, they won't even be able to sell you can't even have a thumbhole stock. So everything would have to be in the configuration of like a Sega, the imported Segas with sporting stocks.
Right, and they're saying they don't want you to be able to change those out in any way, change the features of the gun. It says it bans large capacity ammunition feeding devices capable of accepting more than 10 rounds. Well, if you got a semi-automatic firearm, I mean, for instance, look at something like a Marlin Model 60. It holds more than 10 rounds. It feeds from a form of magazine.
Well, it feeds from a tube, though.
Right, but see, it's just so random how somehow they've arrived at that magic number of 10. I mean, if I take a Glock pistol with 10-shot mags, and I'm trained and I know what I'm doing, and I'm just hell bent on causing trouble, I can reload that mag quick enough to where it ain't going to matter if I got 15 or 30. I mean, the bottom line is it comes down. Yeah, it comes down to Master of Arms and training. I mean, it's irrelevant. It really is. It says that it protects legitimate hunters and the rights of existing gun owners by grandfathering weapons legally possessed on the date of enactment, exempting over 900 specifically named weapons for hunting or sporting purposes, which the Second Amendment is not about sporting purposes or hunting. And it exempts antique, manually operated, and permanently disabled weapons. In addition, it requires that grandfathered weapons be registered under the National Firearms Act.
Right.
That's the biggest joke.
So if you have a AR-15 now, they're going to give you an amnesty period where you have to go and register it like a machine gun. Right. And you pay a $200 tax, and then they'll allow you to keep your AR.
Well, here's my thing about that is one, the issue is that they make it to where, or they want to make it to where you can't leave those guns to your family when you pass away. They want to make it to where when you know, register to you, and then when you die, they get turned over to the government. Well, essentially, that's getting 80% of all the guns in America off the street in one generation.
Right.
And that's their plan. It's backdoor gun registration,
It's
backdoor gun confiscation.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you know, the problem that I have with the registration part, all of it's bullshit. But right at the get-go, the problem I've got with the registration is that the government can't even handle what they are already doing now.
Right.
You know, they can't even, you know, they're having a hard time enough keeping up with suppressor transfers, SBRs, SBSs, machine guns. You know, that area of the NFA, that's already got them swamped to the point where they're going nuts as it is. You're going to take and add, you know, 10 times that amount onto the top of the pile of what they've got to get done. And then what you've done is you've disenfranchised a large group of Americans who, you know, if they want to buy an AR-15, they've got to wait a year or more at the, you know, if you quantify or, you know, exponentially count all of that time that it takes on one suppressor by the amount of total guns that would be in the NFA at that point.
Right.
I mean, it'd take you a year and a half to get, you know, one form back.
If the government, if they did get you to register your gun and pay a $200 tax stamp, people say, well, they get $200, but they're going to have to hire a whole bunch of people to do this. And it's not going to be done overnight. This amnesty period might last for years.
Right. One thing we want to, you know, note also is that with Canada, you know, they recently abolished their long-standing long gun registry. And, you know, they found through extensive study that, you know, particular area of their legislation was very costly. It didn't, you know, didn't prove anything. It didn't help them in any way. All it did was cost them a lot of money. And I think right now with, you know, all of the problems that are going on right now and all these issues that they supposedly need to be paying attention to and all of these problems, you know, we have bigger fish to fry and all that sort of thing. It just seems odd to me that they would even go for something like this when we have enough debt and enough spending and enough government as it is, and they're just wanting more and more.
Well, gun sales across the country spiked 800% this week. Now that should send a message to Washington that people, the majority of the people, don't want any more gun control.
They don't want to be disarmed.
No, they're not going to be disarmed. And I was mentioning to Eric a while ago, Diane Feinstein is almost 80 years old, so she can't haunt us too much longer. I went through, she wrote the original bill in 1994. We're talking about 18 years ago, and she's still here doing the same thing. It doesn't make any sense.
That lady's like the crypt keeper.
She's a crypt keeper, that's it. That's it.
You
Well,
know,
what I'm saying,
she just needs to roll back over into her little coffin and just.
She is a Democrat who is getting old, and she's got to push this through. This is her last. They want to see this. They want to see this happen before she dies, and she wants to see it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, basically, you know, at this point, you're probably wondering, like, well, you know, what can we do about this? You know, and there's a lot of things that can be done. You know, you can call your senators, your congressmen, all of your government people, write them, bug them, email them, call them 5 times a day, leave messages, harass them, I mean, whatever it takes. Call them up, you know, call the NRA, you know, ask the NRA every day, hey, what are y'all doing about this? Of course, you know, they are, at least Wayne LaPierre didn't roll over on the issue. He did say that, you know, we were going to stand strong on the issue. So Wayne LaPierre and the NRA seems to be, right now, fighting for your rights in every way.
If you don't belong to the NRA, you need to get on the phone, and you need to use your credit card, and you need to become a member within the next 24 hours. You're going to have to join the NRA.
Yep.
Whether you like it or not. I don't like the NRA, a lot of things they do, but by God, they're the strongest gun lobby in the country.
Yep.
And they're the only thing standing between us and them.
Well, there's a couple of other, you know, videos out there that I want you to check out. One of my buddies here on YouTube, Sturmgewehr, Mac, Military Arms Channel, he did a recent video on the, you know, 2013 gun ban legislation. That's similar to, you know, the video we're putting out there. Check him out. You know, of course, he's in the Guns, Guts, and Glory Network. Great guy. Check his channel out. Be sure to subscribe and tell him we sent you. And great channel. Again, also people like Such, 00. You know, he put out video about the gun ban. So lots of people under the network have discussed areas about this gun ban, and I would encourage you to check their videos out. There'll be links in the description box of this Gun Gripe that links to their videos. I would encourage you to check them out. And again, you know, take the time. If you've never taken the time before to write your people, write your government, do it now.
You've got to do it.
It's more important now than ever.
Sink or swim, do or die.
That's right. So this is something that we can get over. We can flush this down the toilet and forget about it and forget it ever happened. And that's what we've got to do. We got to move on with life. And the NRA, of course, is supporting a training regimen for teachers and for people of schools that want to, I guess potentially arm themselves, or they want to have increased security measures in schools. I would definitely encourage you to support those efforts as best you can, whether it's in the form of a donation to the NRA or even just a phone call to say, hey, we support that. That would be great. If you have any questions about this gun gripe or comments, feel free to respond below. Leave your comments, suggestions. We'll read them and respond to as many of them as we can. If you feel like you need to call us, you can call us at 770-968-4949. You can ask for me or Barry, Ray, any of us. We'll be happy to talk to you. And I think that's pretty cut and dry, people. We really have to be on top of this stuff.
Well, in closing, Eric and I were discussing this morning. He doesn't think that any of this bill will pass.
No.
My prediction is we're going to at least have the Clinton crime bill. Now, where they're asking for no thumbhole stocks and registry ARs, that's not going to make it. That's not going to fly. But they always ask for more, and then what we've done in the past, we've kind of compromised.
Well, they ask for a mile and they get an inch.
Right.
Is what it
right.
is.
But I'm telling you, I am predicting right now that the old crime bill, verbatim, will be in law or whatever. It'll be enforced within a year or so from now. It might take a long time.
I disagree. I don't think it's gonna have a pot to piss in.
Well,
because you are going to get on the phone with your people and you're going to tell them that you are a one-issue voter and that you will boot their ass out
right.
if they compromise on gun control.
Right.
Let those people know, Democrat, Republican, doesn't matter. You let them know you are a one-issue voter and that your gun rights are important enough to you that you will vote them out over that issue.
The gun industry didn't sue the Clinton administration over the crime bill in 1994. Do you realize how much money that costs? To re-engineer magazines, re-engineer guns, and they should have sued them.
Well, and what this ban also accomplishes, if it were to pass also, is that, it's essentially going to ban 80% of all the guns that exist in America.
Right.
So see, it'll never happen, Barry. It really won't. But don't assume that it won't happen.
Right.
Make it not happen through your efforts.
Fight it.
All right. And in Illinois right now, we're already seeing that they're trying to shove this exact carbon copy of this down the state of Illinois citizens' throats already.
The governor of Illinois is trying to pass this bill for the state of Illinois right now. Assault rifle ban, everything.
So this is happening now, people. We have to get on top of it. We've got to make it happen. All right. So we appreciate you watching. I know this issue has been very hot for the last few weeks. We've tried to kind of lay back and just kind of see how it's going to go. So we appreciate you watching.